Aloha! This is Kim Julen with Finding Your Fiji, and I'm super excited today to interview Teresa Thomas. I will share a little bit about Teresa, but Teresa is one of my favorite people in the world. I will say that. Because just every time I swirl with Teresa, it's always so uplifting. It really is like just a soul connection. Like I feel like we're soul sisters. And so I'm super excited because I've never had the opportunity to interview Teresa before, and I get to do that today. So I'm super excited. But before we get into the interview, I do want to just share a little bit about Teresa. So Teresa Thomas is the author of Win-Win Networking, a great book. If you do any networking at all, this is a really beautiful book to help you be more successful at it. She's also the creator of 50 Fun Things. So she created this a little over a year ago, and it's been touching lives in ways that she never imagined when she created it. And we're going to talk more about that today, and the power of fun is what we're going to be talking about today. She catalyzes connection. So she's really a connector. She connects people and possibilities, really is good about helping you expand your thoughts and expand your ideas. So she's great at that. For 20 plus years now, she's been facilitating hundreds of events. She's presented for countless groups. She's helped thousands of people to connect and grow. And she really is all about lifting people up. Like that's just part of who she is, and that everything that she does that's part of it. So, and I just get chills around that because it is such a beautiful gift that you have to be able to lift people up no matter where they are, like what's happening in their life. I even remember a time you and I were having a conversation. I can't remember. I think maybe I came early to an event or something like that, and we were just having this conversation. I had gone through a divorce. You were just going through divorce. And we just had this conversation about just what was happening. And it was, even though we were talking about some things that we were maybe challenges in our life, it was an uplifting conversation. Right.
It was.
Yeah. Super cool. So I'm so excited to chat with you. So I want to just start out by asking, what is your favorite way to serve the world? You know, maybe some of what I've shared already, but just what are the things that you like to do in your work, in play, just in your life in serving the world?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. And you shared already what my favorite way to serve others in the world is, and that is to be a catalyst. And I was meeting with my mentor yesterday, and one of the things she reflected back to me was that she sees how I can see two people that nobody else can see a connection between, and I see possibilities of what could happen if they connected in a way, and something even better than they imagine can arise from that. And I just thought that was so beautiful because it's what motivates me. It's how my mind works. I'm constantly doing this little puzzle in my mind of oh, did you know this wonderful thing about this person? Well, she needs to know this great thing about you. And then just kind of letting that come together and see what happens. And that lights me up. I love that more than anything. And it seems so simple, but I really feel like that's my purpose on earth, is just to be this little catalyst.
Yes, that's beautiful. I love that so much. And you did that with the retreat, even connecting me with Beth Giles again, right?
Oh,
so
true.
I had met Beth, but it's so funny. And when Beth and I had a conversation, so we did an interview similar to this, and we were literally, I was laughing because we were literally on the same page. One of the things that I mentioned that helps me sort of have structure as well as flow is using a calendar. And we both just recently started using the Panda Planner. So it just, and we have a lot of other connections, like our signature on our emails is the same, enjoy, so many different things that you maybe didn't even know about, right?
It's probably all subconscious, just sort of seeing these you need to be connected with this other person.
Yeah, it's intuition. So I do feel like you have just this really strong intuition too about people, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
love
I am intuitive and then highly empathic too. So I can kind of sense what people are feeling, their energy, how it would mix with somebody else's. And sometimes I don't even know where that comes from.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting.
It's a gift. It's your gift, right? It's a beautiful gift. I love
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
So I want to hear more, and I'm sure other people do too. How did 50 Fun Things get started? And, what has happened?
Yeah, well, so it was a little over a year ago, and I was approaching my 50th birthday, and I was in a pretty deep funk because I thought I had set an intention for how I wanted my life to shift. And I started entering into some patterns. I was starting to feel overwhelmed, frustrated, kind of like this isn't really what I had intended or imagined.
Yeah.
So at that time of life, it's normal for people to kind of reassess and like, okay, what's next? So I purely did the 50 fun things for myself, and I put together this chart, and
Because you were turning 50,
I
right?
was turning 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made copies for everybody who came to my party, and I asked them to fill out what things they'd like to do with me. And I had no idea the power that was going to have in just launching my life forward. It helped me to have deeper and more unexpected connections that I like people like you would actually want to do this thing that I feel like is kind of out there with me. And it was just
Ah,
it was really beautiful. So I keep learning lessons from that, um, which I can share throughout our interview. But one of the things I didn't expect was I originally did it just for me, but it sparked something in other people. And I had people I barely knew reaching out to me, asking me what was next and what was I experiencing, and that they were inspired and that they had made some kind of change
mm,
from it. And then I had a few people ask if they could use it as a tool for their coaching. Like, okay, this is something. and
wow.
and so yeah, so then I started doing the workshops, the journal, the workbook, the wall chart, and finding more and more ways to get this out into the world. And the thing that really is striking to me is because I work with a lot of women in business where we talk about have a niche, like really hone in on your market. This is drawing people from all over, so but it does have the consistency, like people that are wanting more out of their life. So they're going
Yeah.
through probably some shift, whether it's a new relationship, ending a relationship, wanting to enhance a relationship, strengthen family, open up their lives, take more risks, retirement, career change, moving. There are just so many things that are drawing people
Yeah.
to want to kind of remember like what makes them tick, what feels fun, what do they want this next stage of their life to feel like. That's the common denominator.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's, what I've been reading and what I've been experiencing in this, what I like to call the 5D, the fifth dimension. A lot of people refer to that as the fifth dimension. We're moving into this new era. And the thing about this new era is that anything that's not authentic, that's not real, is falling away. And
Oh,
so a lot of people's lives, many parts of their lives are actually crumbling, falling apart, or things are falling away. And a lot of people are really struggling. So this is a way to bring back that authenticity. So I want you to share, we were talking before we got started. It's like we could have like started the recording right away when we got on together because we were talking beforehand. But you were talking about like when we were little kids, like share more about, how that connects with this.
yeah, you and I were having a delightful conversation that was really illuminating about how when we're children, that's our job, is to play. And that's how we learn, that's how we connect, that's how we discover who we are in the world, that's how we try new things. And like it
Yeah.
was just this awareness. I hadn't thought about it until you and I had talked, is that childhood sense of play, how important that is and how we forget it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've noticed is not only has focusing on joy and fun given me a lot of clarity and deepened connections, but it's also reminded me of who I really am and who I want to be on earth,
Mm.
and how to fully live life, and maybe not live it perfectly. And if you're playing and having fun, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Can't get it wrong. If you're playing,
Yeah.
there's no wrong way to play. Like
Yeah.
there isn't any wrong way to play. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And it just in this authentic aspect too, and like being who we really are when we're in a space of playing, when we're doing something that's really fun for us, that really lights us up, we forget about like what we look like. We forget
Yeah.
about like, anything else, but we're just focusing on laughter and having fun and just um, really letting go also of any worries or fears or concerns that we have. So that's the other piece of it too that I think is really valuable, because the more that we can focus on feeling good, the better we are going to feel and the more good stuff we're going to attract to us. So it's
Yeah.
actually really vital that we have more fun. It's
It
like
is.
a key component into creating a better life.
And the other thing I'm learning is fun is not extraneous. It's not superfluous. It is purposeful. Fun is
Say more about
critical.
that. Yeah, say more
Um,
about
okay, so think about your life and you're going day to by day, about all the things you should be doing and what other people are expecting of
that.
you.
Yeah.
That's not energizing. That's not magnetic. That's not fulfilling you to do or be what you really want to be in your life. And so by focusing on what brings you joy, some people get intimidated by the word fun, but what brings you, what brings you joy, what feels fulfilling, what fills you up,
Mm-hmm.
gives you that drive, that energy, that motivation, connects you with others so that you can be more fully yourself and move forward and live in that way. And fun is also a coping mechanism. Fun is critical for resiliency, getting through the
Yeah.
hard times, having something to look forward to, regaining hope,
Yeah.
reminding yourself about what lights you up. Even those simple joys of having a favorite cup of tea or enjoying a sunset
Mm-hmm.
are so fulfilling and help you to be present and just grateful and
Yeah.
cope.
Yes, that is so true. And I think about that too. It made me think of my improv. So I play improv. I've been doing it since I've been on the island. Well, I started, I guess, a couple months after I got here. I started doing it. So I've been doing it for a year and a half now. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Talk about something fun. It is freeing. It's like being a kid again, where you're just making up stories,
Yeah.
right? Like we used to do that all the time. We'd create like a whole story around like whatever was happening or what we were doing with Barbie dolls, or, just even I remember playing school or different things like that, right? And improv is like that too, where you're just making up stories. And the fun thing about it is it's fun for people to watch, of course. If you've ever watched improv, it's fun and
Yeah.
it's funny often. But it's also fun for the people that are doing it because we don't know where it's going either. We have no idea. And the thing that lights me up the most is when I watch other friends of mine that are acting and they're in the middle of the scene and they are cracking up. Like they're trying to keep a straight face because whatever the other person did or said is so funny. And they're like, there's one gal in my group that every time she does this, I'm like, it's so endearing because she's like trying to hold a straight face, or she'll like pretend she's doing something as she's like cracking up, right? But it's so because we get to discover it at the same time the audience does. So
Yeah.
that's the cool thing about it too. And I think that's the cool thing about play is that we often don't, there's less structure to it. Like, I think about even like hiking. I do a lot of hiking here in Hawaii, and it's always different. So I can hike the same trail like 10 different times. It's always different because the water level is different. Sometimes it's muddy, sometimes it's dry. There's different things that you see. You run into different people along the path. So many different things that make it different. So you're discovering as you go along. which makes it more fun because you don't know what's going to happen. It's a
Yeah.
surprise.
Those were perfect examples, the improv, the hike, because both of those examples align with play, because you've let go of expectation, and therefore something unexpected and even better than you could have expected happens. So if you were to go into improv, I'm like, I'm going to be the funniest person, I'm going to say this line, it's going to fall flat. That's not what it's about. It's about being in the moment, being present, being a listener, being engaged, being playful. And on your hike, if you said, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to see this species of bird, and I'm going to, find this plant, that can be fun to like have it be a quest. But if it's your expectation and your joy depends on, meeting these expectations, it diminishes you from noticing what else is happening around you, and the discovery and the curiosity and the excitement and delight that happens when you can just open yourself up.
Yes. Yeah. And that also makes me think of improv too, because it is something where you have to learn to not be your adult self while you're doing it. So oftentimes you come into a scene and you have an idea of how that scene is going to go. You think you have an idea in your head, and this is what I'm going to do. And if you're too attached to that idea, it does not go well. Because then the other person comes in and they have their own idea of what the scene is going to be about, which may be completely different. And they might dub you as something or say that you are like my sister, or and you were like, oh no, we were supposed to be this. But it's about saying yes too. So that's the other big piece about all of this is like, when you say yes and accept whatever is happening and find the joy in that, like find, he dubbed me as this. Okay, I'm going to do this. Happened to me. So this happened to me in a scene I played on Wednesday night. Every week we have class, and I played Wednesday night, and it was we do this crazy thing with towns. So we each are a character in the town. We stand up and say a few things about ourselves, and the town sort of has a theme, and then we interact with each other in the town. So this crazy, and this, I'm going to just warn people, this part maybe not PG. So in this crazy town, what it was is that they had, there was a teacher, and I was wanting to, like, I was like this really dorky girl, and I just wanted to get pregnant and have a baby, but I couldn't find anybody to that I just had gas from kombucha. There were all kinds of little things going on. And because the town was called kombucha, and that was our big thing. And so I was like, oh, I love the kombucha, but it gives me gas and no one wants to be around me and all of that. So anyway, long story, a little bit shorter. This other actor said, oh, you're just a slut, and you just want to be a slut. And I'm like, I just want to fit in. That was my line. Like, I was just like, okay, he dubbed me as that. How am I going to say yes to that? Right? Because sometimes in your head, you're like, no, I'm not. But because your normal brain is like, no, I'm not. But I'm like, okay, I need to say yes to this. How can I say yes to it? And I'm like, I just want to fit in. And it got the biggest laugh. Like, people just were like, oh, So how can you say yes to the things that are happening in your life? And I think the aspect of bringing more fun in and being in that sense of playfulness and childlike wonder helps you actually accept and say yes and have more fun in all areas of your life.
It does. Yeah. And then by focusing on the yes, on the opposite, once you know what brings you joy and what you're saying yes to, it makes it way clearer what's not a fit.
Yes.
Way clear. I had no idea when I went on this journey with 50 Fun Things that it would be helping me to realize what wasn't working for me and what I needed to shift or stop or change or do differently or
around that.
Yeah, and it seems like now it feels obvious to me looking back, but I had no idea that was going to be what the clarity would come out of fun.
Wow, that's incredible. That is really incredible. And I think it's really interesting because as you move towards the things that bring you joy, as you do more of the things that bring you joy, you become more of your authentic self. We talked about that, which means then that the things that don't fit with the authentic you fall away.
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes they'll just fall away on their own. And sometimes you have to take some sort of
Yeah.
action to
Yeah.
release them. But wow. Wow.
Yeah. It's, I had no idea that fun would be so deep. It's just,
It is. It is. Oh my gosh, that's so
really,
incredible. I love it.
yeah.
I
I
love
keep
it.
shaking my head just because I'm just taking it in. And like, it's like, wow. I've been seeing myself shake my head a lot lately because I'm just in this disbelief, like, wow, wow.
Yes, that wonder, right? Like, isn't
Yes.
that, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you're actually going to be doing 50 fun things at my retreat on Maui in
I can't
November,
wait.
right? And the cool thing about this is people will actually be able to start doing the 50 fun things on their list, because we are going to do some really fun things while we're there. We are going to be doing some hiking. Speaking of hiking, we are going to be doing some hiking in 2 waterfalls, some of my favorite places
Mm.
in Maui. And we're going to be snorkeling. We're going to be in the water a lot. There's beaches really close by, so that's going to be dancing on the beach. I know Beth Giles had said one of her dreams was to dance Nia and teach Nia on the beach, and we're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So one of her 50 fun things is actually going to come to fruition, so that's super cool. What I want to ask you about is, what is one thing on your 50 fun things list that, that you are really, is something that's really near and dear to your heart? Maybe even something that you think you might be able to do on Maui?
Yeah. Well, I've created several 50 fun things lists now, so I'll just choose one,
Yeah.
and it fits. And I promise this is not a plant, but I have always wanted to go to Hawaii. And so I have this vision board from 7 years ago where I thought I only put one image of Hawaii, and I was looking at it yesterday, and there are actually several of Hawaii.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I'm like, okay, I wanted this. And then,
Right?
so yeah, and then when I had set that intention of traveling more and that I wanted to do cool work gigs and warm, delightful places, I was thinking, Hawaii was the image that popped to my mind. So I feel so
Wow.
fortunate that you invited me to be part of this. After, yeah, you did the private party with 50 Fun Things,
Yes. Yep. I did that when I was in
and then
Minnesota with a bunch of
yeah, and
friends.
then I
Yeah.
think 2 of the people that were there are coming on the retreat, right?
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
Actually 4, because you and me too. So
Right.
4.
Yeah. 4 of us from that group. Oh, that's interesting. I actually did. And it's so funny because I just reached out to another gal that was at that, because I was feeling like she's meant to be here. We'll see
Yeah.
if that
Okay.
lines up for her to come. But yeah, it's interesting about that. And you've been able to manifest, so maybe just share with people, like, what are some of the fun things that you had put on your list that maybe you thought would never happen that have happened?
Yeah. Well, the travel thing felt huge when I put that. I had not traveled much at all since I was young and I had kids. And so I
Yeah.
said that I wanted to travel at least once a quarter. And last year I did. I traveled more than once a quarter last year. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, opportunities started opening up that I was saying yes to. And then because I was talking about it, then people would invite me. And so
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
huge. Yeah, and then I had a whole bunch of, okay, this is a goofy story, so I won't go into all of these
No, I
details,
want to hear it.
but I
Yeah.
have all these home repairs that I've been needing to be done. And I just put out this goofy intention because I'm empty nesting for a while. And
Okay.
like, okay, I have a space in my house. If somebody wants to live there and fix things until my daughter gets back,
Yeah.
I am fixing, my house is getting fixed. All like, yeah, what was supposed to be a $10,000 plumbing job, according to this plumber, got fixed for under $100.
Wow.
So, and it
Wow.
was just, I think I was practicing asking for what I wanted and being really clear. And so I
Mhm.
put it out there to my friends. I'm looking for somebody who's a handy person who needs a place to stay, to live until June, end of June. And then they're like, well, maybe would you like to have a nurse? No, I want a handy person.
Yeah.
Would maybe a student? No, I
Yeah.
want a handy person. I need to charge rent. No, I just want somebody to fix
the stuff. Oh my gosh. And that the universe gave you the opportunity to again be clear again and
Yes.
again and again, be really clear. I want a handyman. I want a handyman.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's such a weird example, and I can't
But
guarantee that other people could say they want a live in a handy person, but it was just this
awesome.
wacky thing that I asked for, and it's working out so well.
Right.
Oh, and especially this year with all the shoveling.
Oh my
I was out there
God.
shoveling like 3 times a day.
Oh my God.
I picked the perfect time.
Right? Oh my gosh, that's right. You guys had record snowfalls this year. Oh, that's hilarious and awesome, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And I would have never imagined that that possibility wouldn't have even have popped in my mind. But I've been traveling all the time. So I have this live-in person like watching my house and taking care of my pets. And
oh my gosh, it's so amazing. So
that's a kind of a wacky example, but
I love it. It's so perfect because it just shows you that it doesn't have to be like big huge dreams always. It can be the big travel,
it can be,
but it can also be small practical things, right?
Yes,
like that just make your life a lot more fun and easy.
Yes. Oh yeah. It was
Right?
My life was way more fun not shoveling.
Yeah, if you're not having to shovel, it's way more fun. Yeah. Although I used to sometimes enjoy, if it was a really light, fluffy snow, I used to like to shovel sometimes, but.
Oh yeah, it's fun like once a year.
Right? So for those that don't want to shovel in November, come with us to Maui. For sure. Awesome. I love it. Okay. So we're going to wrap up. What is your golden nugget piece of advice?
Oh, just be you, enjoy, be present, be connected, notice what lights you up, what lights other people up, and life just so much easier and so much more joyful.
Yeah. Yeah. Life is supposed to be fun, people. It is. It is. And Teresa can help you with that. So Teresa, how do people connect with you? Do you have anything that you can offer as a free gift, or how will they get a hold of you if they want to learn more about 50 Fun Things?
Yeah, well, a good place to follow is 50 Fun Things on the Facebook page. Every now and then we post something that's fun for people to do or something inspirational. So that's a super easy way to follow.
Okay.
And it'll be growing as more people are attracted to 50 Fun Things. We have more followers. We'll get more invitations. So every now and then we'll get something like a movie invitation, or we got invited to drive slingshots last summer. So you never know. I mean, I don't know what's going to be up there, but follow it and see what happens.
Yeah. And the thing that's cool about that group too is people post when they've done some of their 50 Fun Things, like they'll post pictures of the stuff that they're doing. That was really fun.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then once people do the 50 Fun Things workshop, they get invited to the alumni group where there's more motivation, and then that group will grow as well. So yeah. So that would be an easy first step to take.
Okay. Very cool. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I have totally enjoyed this conversation. I feel like we could talk for days about all of this stuff. It just really, there's so much value in fun. There's so much value in following what lights you up, and doing those things that bring you joy do impact every single area of your life. So that's kind of the thing that I just am kind of taking away from this.
Oh, good.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks so much, Teresa.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here on my island in Maui in November. For people that are interested in getting more information about the retreat, I will have links below for that. It is also on my website, findingyourfiji.com. There's a tab for retreats, and you can click on that link and see what's happening, all the different things that we're going to be doing on Maui, and all the fun things that you could participate in with that. So have an amazing, amazing day, everyone. So much love and light, and feel free, obviously, to share this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. There's a little button in the corner to hit like and subscribe, and make sure that you hit the bell so that you get notified when new videos are posted. All right. Have an amazing, amazing day. Much love.
Thank you.